Hi, good afternoon, Blake, and hello, everybody. Well, details are still very sketchy right now. We have not spoken with police, but this entire neighborhood between F and Jackson Avenue have been roped off, as you can see right behind me. We have heard from neighbors that the shots, about half a dozen of them, came from that apartment complex. Officials say it's all about cleaning up that specific area of town that's been our bread and butter for years now. And for that to happen, they say they got to start cracking down on those pesky peddlers and those performers that have turned the strip into their very own stage. And I had the chance to speak with Ruben's brothers a couple of weeks ago, and they told me that the family was really focusing on their efforts on recovering their brother's body rather than finding him alive. They knew that that wasn't a possibility at that point. And let me show you just how bad things have gotten within the last few hours. You see right behind me, that bridge right there is the off-ramp from the I-15 to Spring Mountain Road. Look at that entire backup in just the last few hours. Well, Steve, looks like this guy was trying to make a quick getaway with some poker chips, but he wasn't fast enough. Metro Police tells us that a man wearing a gray hoodie with some dark colored pants walked into the Stratosphere last night around 11:45 p.m. He made his way over to the poker room, jumped over a counter, trying to get access to the chips and cash. But before he even was able to get his hands on the loot, he was confronted by a casino employee and left soon after that. Now, this is the third casino robbery in 4 months. Experts really don't view this as a trend, but rather a few isolated incidents where criminals still think they can make this sort of MO pay off. And get a load of this, guys. They were able to seize over 200 pounds of meth with a street value of over $5 million. Metro officers were responding to a domestic disturbance call right here at the apartment complex right behind me. Now, what we've heard from investigators so far is that once they got to that apartment complex, they had a short foot pursuit with the individual. Shots were then fired. We do know that one person has been taken to the hospital. We don't know the extent of his or her injuries, but we do know that no officers have been injured. I can tell you that I've seen cars with license plates from all over the country, California, Utah, Arizona, and some as far away as Florida. Now, we've been hearing that if you don't have your tickets for this festival just yet, you might be out of luck. You know, and just like that taxi driver that we spoke with, people who live here and work in the restaurant industry, hotel industry, you name it, are really banking on this weekend to make up for other much slower days. We will have much more information for you guys coming up in a live report at 5. For now, reporting live from Highland Island and at Arriola, Channel 13 Action News.
They were like, put your gun down, and he's like, no, just shoot me.
Frightening moments for Janine Plasencia as she witnessed police officers open fire on the man who forced his way into her friend's apartment home. Janine says the man had been pounding on the door. Moments later, he knocked again, this time pushing her in, holding a gun to her face.
He told us to sit down on the couch, and I had the pillow in my hand. I was talking on the phone under the pillow, and I was talking to the police, telling them that he's going to kill us.
A brave move that could have cost her life, but with her young daughter and her friend's child inside one of the bedrooms, it was a risk she had to take. The children then began screaming, leading police officers to the upstairs unit.
They saw an individual male with what appeared to be a semi-automatic handgun.
After ignoring commands, investigators say an officer fired a single shot, wounding him in the abdomen. Turns out the suspect was a wanted man. Police say he was the same guy who allegedly attempted to strangulate a female just hours earlier. Janine says the man told her that he'd had a fight with his girlfriend. She says he was clearly disturbed, possibly on drugs. She's just relieved it's all over.
What they did was absolutely necessary. The police absolutely had to shoot him.
Police are telling us that the suspect underwent surgery just a few hours ago. He is expected to be okay. Now, they have yet to release his identity and whether he has any prior criminal history. Reporting live from Tenaya and Summerlin Parkway and at Arriola, Channel 13 Action News. That's right, Tricia. Hospital officials are telling us that Geneva Foster is in critical condition and not doing very well. Now, a man who witnessed the entire wreck unfold did tell us that just as he was calling 911, he already knew that this would be ending in tragedy.
I don't hear any skid marks. I just honk, boom, 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 and they're in the air spinning.
William Samuel says the Lincoln Town car did a complete 360. Seconds later, the smashed and mangled Lincoln with an elderly couple inside landed just feet away from his own car.
It was so hard that I didn't even realize there were two passengers at first.
78-year-old Geneva Foster was taking a left turn onto Jones when police say 29-year-old Jose Gomez ran a red light, plowing into the Lincoln. Samuel says he first spotted Geneva's husband, Robert, and attempted to help him. But when he looked inside, he realized that things were far worse.
She moved, and unfortunately, I saw a lot of blood flowing. And then I said, 911, I need a rag. Somebody help me. She's bleeding really bad.
But it was her husband who was unable to survive the injuries. Gomez told officers the wreck wasn't his fault, arguing that the other driver should have swerved out of the way when she saw him coming. According to the arrest report, Gomez appeared impaired at the time of the crash, slurring his speech. He told officers he'd taken Xanax and hydrocodone, but had no prescriptions for them. The 29-year-old failed the field sobriety tests. And as for Samuel, he says the images of the deadly wreck will always haunt him and only hopes that justice will be served.
You take a life, the courts need to do what the courts have to do.
And again, Geneva Foster in critical condition here at UMC. Now, interestingly enough, the day of the crash, Gomez was supposed to be in court for driving without a license and failing to show proof of insurance. He is now being charged with felony charges on driving under the influence and is scheduled to be in court next week. Reporting live, Annette Channel 13 Action News.